Hello and welcome back to Project S80. I've got a few jobs I'm going to be getting on with this car. You've seen my previous videos, possibly depending on the way I've uploaded it, what I've done with the EGR valve, etc, etc. If you haven't, have a look back. We've done the blank on the EGR valve, the restrictor plate, and other jobs. So what we've got lined up today, but I'll probably, to be honest, I'll record this in stages, because I'm really busy and it's hard work trying to record within a working garage. The alternator clutch pulley on this is a common fault with these Volvo D5s. It's making the belt judder and squeak and everything. So we've got a new one of those to fit. We'll go on the back of the car and I'll show you what I've got. Spent a fair bit on this car now. Right, this is what we're going to be doing. So, new auxiliary belt. That'll be going on. I'll start off with this bit first. Genuine Volvo timing belt kit, water pump and 4 litres of genuine Volvo coolant. Very important on these D5s. So what it is, I've just sealed this box up so everything doesn't fall out. But what you get with the genuine Volvo water pump is far better than what you get with any kind of cheap. You get the new gaskets, new bolts, and the pump itself is just far superior. If you're going to do it on these, get the genuine bits. I think it cost me about £180, and that was the timing belt kit. So you've got your tensioner, your idler pulley, and your timing belt. You've got your water pump. The coolant was included in the price as well. I got this belt separately because I think it only cost me about 20 quid, where Volvo want about 40, and it's exactly the same thing. If anybody wants to know if you're part of the S80 owner club, obviously my Volvo is the S80 2003 D5. Just check that your engine's either Euro 3, Euro 4. I think there's some differences. But there's the part number there for the Volvo timing belt kit. Here is the part number for the genuine Volvo water pump. And that's the part number for the coolant at the bottom there. 4 litres should be sufficient. And obviously you want to change the auxiliary belt at the same time. What else I've got here is a lower front engine mount. What I want to show you with this, it's called Teco in the box. The box is a bit battered, but it's a genuine Volvo one. You can see it says front, but where it would say Volvo, you see it's just been gouged out with a little Dremel, because it's a genuine Volvo part. And it only cost us £70. It's 100% what it is. It's just old stock that Volvo get rid of. These companies buy them, rebox them, and you're getting a genuine part, and it's for this one down here. Best way to test for these, I'll show you on a separate video, is you can, when the engine's running, take the oil cap off carefully, and if you hear like a loud knocking, that is a sign that you've got a vacuum leak on these. But the simple way with this, how I've found, for a start, I don't like the way this securing tie has come off. Don't know what's gone on there. But second of all, you've got 2 pipes which run to a T-piece. That's your T-piece. Sorry about that, I just got interrupted. We've got a little guest. My daughter's come to help. So, just walking my mum comes every day to walk the dog, and today she's got Olivia. Say hello. She doesn't know what I'm doing. Anyways, there's an easy way to do this without vacuum gauges. If you've got an engine mount that's gone badly, which this one has, is you've got 2 vacuum pipes that go to this unit on the air filter, and this is your feed pipe here, which comes from your vacuum pump, and it comes down from the solenoid valve to this T-piece. All you need to do is disconnect the front, that's the rear one, that's the front one. So all you need to do is disconnect the front one and blank your finger, and just simply take this pipe off and suck or blow on it. And if you can't suck or blow on it, that means it's relatively speaking okay. And then obviously what you do is to switch it round is you plug the front vacuum in and take the rear one off, blank it with your finger, isolate it, and then suck or blow onto the pipe. And as I did with this one, the front one, you can just blow through it like it's a straw, meaning it's completely gone, the diaphragm inside of there. Nice and simple. You can buy vacuum gauges, but it's utter waste of time. So that's that. I'm going to change that one. I've just took the cover off that. I've just bought a special toolkit for what you call a free running alternator clutch pulley. Normally you've got to buy a whole new alternator for these, but for 20 quid I'm getting this, and you've got to check all your numbers to check that they're compatible with the numbers that are on the alternator, and that's all it is. It's just a free running clutch pulley which goes on. When they seize up like that one has, the belt makes one hell of a noise, jumping round, drumming, clattering. It's awful. But unfortunately what companies like to do is buy a whole new alternator, just for the sake, the alternator's charging fine. So I needed one. I haven't just bought this for this job. We've been thinking about getting it for a while. It was only £18. There's the numbers for it there. And what it does is, it's just with it being in the post. What it does is it means you can hold the alternator still whilst you loosen the inner part, and you've got all these little bits. Not quite sure 100% what to do or how. My only concern with this is I was hoping maybe to do it in situ. But I'm not sure how we're going to be on for space. But we'll find out soon. So that's that. What else have I got here? Right, this is the final thing here. Automatic, this car. And this has got your, it's like the 5-speed Volvo transmission. Sorry, I got stopped again there. So yeah, these automatic gearboxes suffer badly because you can never really fully drain them. You can go pulling oil coolers off the radiator and let them drain out that way, but really what your class is doing, a sump dump on these is the best. There's a little drain plug at the bottom. You normally get about 2 litres out at a time-ish. Right, actually I think there's more than that, between 3 litres. So I've got 8 litres here, which I'm just going to flush through. This stuff's like a multi-grade, it's really good. It does all sorts, and it's got all the main one for these is the JWS 3309. But if you go down there's the Volvo numbers. It's a fraction of the price of the Volvo stuff, and to be quite honest, for a car this age, with the time belt I'll spend the money, but not so much on things like that. But with these, I never knew there's a hidden little dipstick just there. So you drain the part out on the sump, and then you just simply fill it through there. But what I have ordered is like a 5-litre measuring jug with a bigger top, more like one that I use in the kitchen. So what I'm going to do is just simply drain it out. And what I'm not going to mess on with trying to get the levels. That the gearbox is bone dry. There's never been a leak. So I'm just simply, whatever comes out, the exact same amount's going back in. Simple as that. That's all I'm going to do. Because if you start messing on with trying to get these levels right on these automatics, you've got to have them up to temperature, have the diagnostic equipment on, checking that the fluid's at the right temperature. Simple thing. Just whatever you take out, put back in. The car's driving perfect. Just doing it through routine maintenance. Naturally, if you've got a leak, do it properly. I'm just busy on. I've stripped this ECU box down. I'm thinking I'm going to probably have to take the alternator off to do it. So we'll see how it goes. But I'll come back to you with any updates on the video. I'll catch you next time. If you like this, like, comment and subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Quick update on the engine mount. So this is a new one, ready to go on. It's been quite a few years since I've done these, so I've played it on the side of caution. What I've done is I've just put an engine mount. There's no real weight on this, under the sump on a transmission stand. All you need to do is, it's a 15mm. Inside of this gap, I'll just get a light to show you. There's one 15mm up inside of there. This front engine stabiliser, it's easier if you just take them out, and it just gives a little bit more movement as and when you need it. So that's all you need to do at the bottom. And then at the top, I'm just doing things on the side of caution because I work on that many cars. Some of them, I don't think these ones do, but if you go disconnecting these, you're going to make the engine drop, basically, which can cause stress to pipes and hoses. So you take this bracket off here, 1, 2, 3, I think they're 14mm. The bracket comes off the top of it, which are onto there. It just simply lifts off. You disconnect the vacuum line. Be very careful with this because if you snap it or damage it, you'll have to be getting a new one. I'll just get this because I don't want the bracket falling off. There's a little bracket that bolts onto the engine mount itself. You take that off and then just simply pull it out, and that's what you should be left with. But when you come to put this back in, put some kind of grease on, so if you ever need to take it out again, you don't cause damage, and that just slots into the engine mount. But just tuck that out the way while you're working down here, as so. And then literally, it's just a case. Take that bracket off. You've got the one off at the bottom. Now, it will just lift out like this. I'm just going to keep it in order. See, something's been damaged with this because that securing thing, that shouldn't have come off like that. So just make note of it. Like I've mentioned, the one I've got, if you look, it's got the mark. We'll take it down. I've got this video as reference. I'm just trying to climb down on some ladders as well as holding this. Would have been easier if you had a driveway just to use some axle stands or something, but it's just the fact I've got the lift here. So if you compare these side by side, identical. It must have been that securing point there which had come off or something, I don't know. But like I've said, that's just fallen off there on the floor. So as I was showing you, when I've got some space here, if you notice on the original one where it says Volvo, the Volvo part number, it's in exactly the same position as the one I've got. But obviously they're not allowed to brand them as Volvo. And then even if you look at the font on the word front, it's identical. So you're getting a genuine Volvo part there. There's the numbers for it. So I'm not going to try and record this because I'm bouncing up on ladders. I'll add this to the end of that video. As you've seen, that's what you do. It's just a complete reversal to put it back on. Just be careful. I'm only doing this as I deal with too many different cars, but these Volvos, crikey, I think they've got about 5 or 6 different engine mounts. So with this car, you're safe. Others, if you go disconnecting stuff like this, you could potentially cause serious damage. The engine could fall out your car, your gearbox. So I'm going to get on, put this back together. Like I've said, top tip, few little areas to grease. I've said silicone or rubber grease onto the point that goes into there. That's where it goes in, the vacuum line. And any other little mounting points, add a bit of grease to them. But that's fine. I'm going to go and get this back together now. I've sort of started stripping it down for the alternator. I may add another video on when that's partially done. And then we'll do a start-up video once the alternator pulley's done. And once that's done, and we should have a much better, smoother running car. Thanks for watching. Quick update on the alternator. The tool did work, but there is some bits of it where you've got to improvise and use other items. Believe it or not, on the old one we used an old oil filter wrench. So that goes in, if you look inside with the alternator off, it's just check, some are Allen key, some are like a Torx. So that goes in the centre, locks, and then that piece locks into the centre. This is the same for most cars. And remember, it's the opposite way around. So it's clockwise to slacken, anti-clockwise to tighten. And you've got to obviously hold this piece with a spanner. We actually did it with the impact gun. You're probably not meant to, but at the end of the day, it worked with the oil filter grip on here, on the old one. But when you're done, don't forget, the old one will probably be slightly different, because this is a slightly different pulley, but it's the same circumference. Put your protection cap on, job done. Onto the car, you've got to slacken the air conditioning pump. There's 2 long bolts that go through the air conditioning pump and the base of the alternator, and the third one even, is a smaller one that just goes through just under the power steering pump. Make sure you disconnect the battery, take off your 2 electrical connections, and you've got to slacken the 2 bottom ones of the air conditioning pump, which is on by 4. Don't take it off all the way, just enough for the bracket to slide out, which is that bracket there. Definitely worth doing. The best way you can test these is if you spin them and then just stop suddenly. You can feel that it slips. Like as you can see, it's not jolting my hand. With that one, it was just solid. The minute you stopped, it stopped it. Where with this, if you slip it back over, it allows it to slip, basically. That's what they're designed for. That's what all the noise and the chattering. I mean, a lot of people would jump in with 2 feet and go changing tensioners, bottom pulleys and belts. It's probably not done them any good, but this car's getting the time belt done in a couple of weeks. I would change this belt, but I'm just going to leave it be for now, because I've got a brand new one to go on, but it goes down behind the timing cover, so I'm just going to leave that. And you need a great big Torx. I think it's a T50. Let's see if I can't see on it, but it's a great big Torx you need to release the tensioner to get the belt off. So I'll show you when it's all built back up. Obviously that's the engine mount in place. I forgot to drop my light down there. I won't be surprised if it's gone flat now, which it has. Great. But obviously you can see that's fitted how it should have been, not with the securing tie off. So I'll come back to you when I've got it mostly built up.